It appeared to be almost a painful admission for police. Just hours after suspect Miles Sanderson died in police custody, the head of the Saskatchewan RCMP said even though more than 100 officers are working on the case, Sanderson's death likely means the attacks and the reason for them may never be fully understood.
Unfortunately, now that Miles is deceased, we may never have an understanding of that motivation.
Now, the other thing Sanderson's death means is there won't be a trial. That would have meant evidence and testimony, a degree of transparency that may have helped the public deal with what happened.
In the absence of a criminal trial,
legal expert Archie Kaiser says the tragedy has some parallels to the 2020 Portapique tragedy in Nova Scotia. Both were unfathomable in terms of the loss of life, and in both cases the perpetrators were killed. There was no trial. The Nova Scotia government resisted an inquiry at first, but is now holding a mass casualty commission. Saskatchewan, Kaiser says, should consider something similar.
It's difficult to see how there can be a full examination of all of the events and the things that led to them without a proper public inquiry.
There are multiple investigations and reviews underway into different aspects of what happened in Saskatchewan and what led to it. Police are looking at the attacks. The parole board is reviewing the decision to grant Sanderson statutory release, letting him out of prison early. And Sanderson's death while in RCMP custody is being looked at by the Saskatoon Police Service and a civilian-led organization. The Serious Incident Response Team was only recently created as oversight on crimes involving police.
It is quite new, only just about a year old. This will be very much almost an acid case for this new body to prove to the public that it has got the ability to do these things independently without police interference.
One of the big issues that led to the Portapique inquiry was the police response during that attack. There hasn't been as much criticism in the Saskatchewan case, with observers saying the RCMP seemed to have learned from their mistakes.
We're hearing lots of information about what happened.
The head of the Canadian Prison Law Association says a broad and expensive inquiry isn't needed. Instead, Tom Engel wants a focused look at the lack of support Sanderson appears to have gotten in prison and on parole. Correctional Services Canada, he says, isn't doing enough for rehabilitation.
This is a serious problem, and we probably won't get to the root of that problem without a public inquiry.
Now, Engel does say transparency may be an issue in those reviews. Police forces in Canada, he says, are reluctant to release things like dashcam videos that may help the public better understand what happened. In the U.S., he says the dashcam videos from the cruisers in Sanderson's arrest likely would have already been released. Instead, in Canada, the public will likely never see them. Mike Armstrong, Global News, Regina.